Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're looking at a really unique perspective on women's equality.
And empowerment.
Yeah, empowerment. One that connects to global peace and even the future of humanity.
It's a big one.
It is a big one. We're going to be looking at the Baha'i Faith's teachings on the power of women.
Yeah, it's a fascinating perspective.
It is.
Yeah.
It really challenges those traditional
power structures.
Yeah. And offers this vision of a world where women's contributions are not just valued, essential. For progress.
Yeah. I'm so excited to unpack this. We've got
tons of great sources for this one.
I know. Writings from Baha'u'llah, who's the founder of the Baha'i Faith, right?
Right.
And some scholarly articles and contemporary commentary. So
where do we even begin?
Yeah, where do we begin with all this?
Well, I think you have to start with the core principle at play here, and that's the fundamental equality of women and men.
Got it.
Baha'u'llah emphasizes their equal spiritual potential and capacity.
Okay, so not just like equal souls, but
equal ability to contribute.
Yeah, exactly. In every facet of life.
I like that.
Yeah. And there's this striking bird analogy.
Oh, I love a good analogy.
That Baha'u'llah uses to drive this point home.
Okay, hit me with it.
He says that the world of humanity is like the two wings of a bird. One is the male and the other is the female.
Okay, so for humanity to truly fly, both wings,
men and women,
have to be strong and working together.
Exactly. And this directly challenges centuries of inequality that women have faced.
Right.
Globally.
Globally, for sure.
The Baha'i teachings frame this inequality as a consequence of social norms and power structures.
Okay.
Not some inherent difference in capabilities.
That makes a lot of sense. So how does this principle of equality actually play out?
Yeah, how do we see it?
In the Baha'i Faith's teachings, what are the specific areas they focus on?
So they advocate for women's full and equal participation in all spheres of life, including politics, education, the economy, family life.
Wow, that's a pretty comprehensive scope. Yeah, it's really interesting to see a belief system so explicitly championing women's rights across such diverse areas.
And it's not just about fairness. Or social justice, it's vital for humanity's advancement.
Okay, now that's what I call a deep dive worthy statement. Tell me more. What's the connection between women's empowerment and humanity's progress?
So the Baha'i Faith sees humanity as being on the verge of this new stage of development. It's not just technological or economic.
No.
It's moral and spiritual evolution.
Okay, so a kind of collective growing up.
Exactly.
Of the human race.
And women's equal participation is crucial for this to happen.
It sounds like they're saying we can't evolve as a species.
They can't.
Unless women are fully empowered to contribute their unique perspectives.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's not just an abstract concept.
Okay.
This belief has very real implications for how societies are structured, how decisions are made, even how we interact with each other on a daily basis.
So it's not just about changing laws or policies.
No, it's much deeper than that.
It's about changing our mindset.
Absolutely. It's about challenging those deeply ingrained beliefs that limit women's potential.
Which we all have.
We do. Yeah. It's about creating a culture of respect and equality where everyone, regardless of gender, has the opportunity to thrive.
This all sounds very idealistic.
Right.
But how does it actually work in practice?
Right.
Do the sources give any concrete examples?
They certainly do.
Okay.
And that's where it gets really interesting.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
One area they particularly emphasize is women's participation in politics and leadership roles.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about the Baha'i perspective on women in leadership.
All right.
This is where things usually get controversial.
It can.
A little bit?
Well, Baha'u'llah himself said, and get ready for a bold statement, when a woman rises to the station of leadership, the world will be blessed, and the chaos of conflict will cease.
Wow. That's a powerful statement. It suggests that not only do women have the capacity for leadership, but that their leadership could actually be the key to achieving lasting peace.
That's exactly it.
Wow.
The Baha'i teaching suggests that women bring unique qualities to leadership roles.
Okay, like what?
Qualities like compassion, collaboration, a focus on nurturing, and building consensus.
Qualities that, let's be honest, aren't always valued in traditional, often male-dominated power structure.
Exactly. And the Baha'i Faith suggests that these qualities often associated with women are exactly what's needed to solve the complex challenges facing our world.
For sure.
Challenges that often stem from conflict, competition, and a lack of understanding.
So they're not just saying women should be in leadership for the sake of equality.
Right, it's deeper.
They're saying it's actually beneficial for everyone.
It is.
For the entire planet.
Everyone benefits.
It's about bringing a new set of skills and perspectives to the table, right?
That's a great way to summarize it.
I like that.
It's about leveraging the strengths that women often embody to create a more cooperative, harmonious world.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that humanity needs the contributions of both men and women to truly thrive.
This is already shifting my perspective on what leadership can look like and what qualities we should be prioritizing in our leaders. But it's easy to talk about these things in theory. I'm curious to hear more about how the Baha'i Faith envisions this playing out in the real world.
Yeah, we'll delve into those practical applications in our next segment.
So we've established that the Baha'i Faith views women's empowerment as not just a matter of fairness, but as something essential for humanity's progress.
Yeah.
And the creation of a more peaceful world.
Absolutely, and that perspective is reflected in their teachings on a lot of issues.
Okay.
Not just leadership. For instance, Baha'u'llah was a strong advocate for the education of girls.
Oh, wow.
Even in a time when that was a radical idea.
That makes sense. If you believe in the equal capacity of women, then denying them education would be like a major obstacle to progress.
Huge obstacle.
What did the source material say about the Baha'i approach to education?
So one of the key points is that girls and boys should have access to the same quality of education.
Okay.
It's not just about providing basic literacy.
Right.
It's about giving them the tools to develop their intellectual and spiritual potential to the fullest.
That would have been pretty revolutionary in the 19th century when Baha'u'llah was writing.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, he even stated that if parents could only afford to educate one child,
oh, wow,
they should prioritize the daughter.
Wow. That's a strong statement. What was the reasoning behind that?
So the Baha'i writings emphasize the powerful influence that mothers have on their children.
Okay, yeah.
Particularly in those early formative years.
For sure.
And educated mothers are better equipped to raise children who are open-minded, compassionate, and capable of contributing to a better world.
So it's not just about individual empowerment. It's about creating a ripple effect that benefits families and communities for generations to come.
Absolutely. It's a long-term vision.
It is a long-term vision. And this focus on education extends beyond childhood.
Okay.
The Baha'i Faith encourages lifelong learning for both women and men.
For everyone.
Yeah. The pursuit of knowledge and spiritual growth is seen as a fundamental aspect of human existence.
It's a core part of who we are.
Okay, so education is key, but what about economic empowerment? How does the Baha'i Faith view women's participation in the workforce?
They believe that women should have equal opportunities to engage in meaningful work.
Okay.
And to contribute to the economic well-being of their families and society.
Got it.
And they acknowledge the practical challenges that women often face.
Like what?
Things like balancing work and family responsibilities.
Yeah, that's a big one. It's one thing to say women should work, but it's another to actually create structures that support them. Does the Baha'i Faith address those practical considerations?
They do. They call for things like the establishment of social safety nets, affordable childcare, and flexible work arrangements.
Those are really important.
Yeah, these types of policies can help level the playing field and allow women to participate more fully in the economy.
So it sounds like they're recognizing that true equality requires more than just equal rights on paper.
Oh, for sure.
It requires creating systems that support women in all aspects of their lives.
Precisely. It's about addressing the systemic barriers that often prevent women from reaching their full potential.
Yeah.
It's about creating a society that values and supports the contributions of both men and women.
This approach seems to be very holistic.
It is.
It's not just about one specific issue. It's about transforming the way we think about gender roles and the structure of society itself.
We got it. The Baha'i Faith offers a vision of a future where the traditional dichotomy between masculine and feminine qualities is transcended.
Okay.
It's not about men becoming more like women or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that these qualities are inherent in all of us.
I like that.
Yeah, and that society benefits when we embrace the full spectrum of human potential.
So it's not about competition or dominance. It's about cooperation.
Right.
And recognizing the interconnectedness of humanity.
Exactly. It's about creating a world where men and women work together as partners, each contributing their unique strengths.
Yeah.
To build more just peaceful and sustainable future.
This vision of partnership extends to the family unit as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does the Baha'i Faith have to say about the roles of men and women within the family?
They believe that marriage is a partnership of equals,
Okay.
based on love, respect, and mutual consultation.
Okay.
Both spouses share in the responsibilities of family life,
Uh-huh.
including raising children and making decisions that affect the household.
That sounds like a pretty modern perspective, especially considering that Baha'u'llah was writing in the 19th century.
It was definitely ahead of its time.
It was...
The Baha'i Faith recognizes the vital role that families play
Yeah.
in shaping individuals and society.
Right.
They believe that strong, loving families
Yeah.
are the foundation of a strong and unified community.
So it's not just about changing laws and policies.
It's deeper.
It's about changing the way we relate to each other.
Yes.
On a fundamental level.
On core level.
Starting within our own families.
Exactly. It's about fostering relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and a willingness to work together towards common goals.
This is giving me a lot to think about. It seems like the Baha'i Faith offers a truly transformative vision
It does.
of what a society based on equality and partnership could look like.
It really does. It's a vision that requires a shift in our thinking,
Yeah.
a willingness to challenge our assumptions about gender roles and the way we organize our lives.
But it's a vision that's ultimately rooted in hope,
Absolutely.
in the belief that we can create a better world for ourselves and for generations to come.
That's the core of it. And that belief is reflected in the Baha'i Faith's call to action.
Okay.
It's not just about passively accepting these principles. It's about actively working to make them a reality.
That brings us to an important question. What can we as individuals do to support the empowerment of women and contribute to this vision of a more just and equitable world?
Yeah, it really is inspiring to consider this vision of a world, transformed by women's full participation and the unique qualities they bring to leadership, decision-making, community building.
It is, but as you mentioned earlier, right, it's easy to get caught up in the grand scale of these ideas.
Yeah.
Right?
What about the everyday ways we can each contribute
Exactly.
to this shift?
Global transformation has to start somewhere.
Right. It might as well be with us.
Exactly. And the Baha'i writings don't shy away from concrete actions.
Okay.
One thing they consistently emphasize is the power of individual choice.
Okay.
Each of us can make decisions that either reinforce or challenge inequality. So it's about examining our own biases, both conscious and unconscious,
Right.
and actively choosing to act in ways that promote equality.
Precisely. It can be as simple as making sure women's voices are heard in meetings, supporting businesses owned by women, or advocating for equal pay in our workplaces.
It's about recognizing that these seemingly small actions can collectively create a ripple effect
Absolutely.
that shifts the balance towards justice and equality.
But don't forget about the power of education.
Yes.
Both for ourselves and for the next generation.
Right.
We can support educational initiatives that empower girls and women.
For sure.
And we can engage in open and honest conversations about gender equality with our children, families, and communities.
Yeah, it's about creating a culture where these ideas are not seen as radical or controversial,
Right.
but as simply common sense.
Common sense, exactly. Another key area is supporting women in leadership roles.
Okay.
And that doesn't necessarily mean running for office ourselves, although that's certainly an option.
Right.
It can also mean mentoring young women, encouraging them to pursue their ambitions, and voting for candidates who champion women's rights.
And recognizing and valuing the contributions of women leaders who are already making a difference
Yeah.
in our communities and around the world.
It's about shifting our mindset from seeing women's leadership as an exception to seeing it as the norm.
Yeah, I like that.
It's about believing in the power of their voices and perspectives to create positive change.
So if I were to sum up the Baha'i call to action, it would be this. Be conscious, be deliberate, choose equality in your everyday life, support women amplify their voices, and challenge those who perpetuate inequality.
That's perfect. That's a great summation.
I try.
It's about remembering that we each have agency, and our choices, no matter how small they may seem, can contribute to building a world where everyone, regardless of gender, has the opportunity to thrive.
This deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about, and I hope it's done the same for our listeners.
Me too.
It's been fascinating to explore the Baha'i perspective on women's empowerment
It is fascinating.
and how it connects to peace progress and the very evolution of humanity.
It challenges us to think differently about the world, about leadership, and about our own roles in creating a more just and equitable future.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought. If women truly held equal power in the world, how do you think our lives would be different? What kind of world could we create together?
That's a great question to ponder. Until next time, let's all continue to explore these ideas, challenge our assumptions, and choose to build a world that reflects the full potential of all humanity.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Baha'i faith and women's empowerment. We hope you'll continue to explore these ideas and consider what role you can play in creating a brighter future for all of